Hello everyone and welcome back to the next episode, which happens to be the grand finale. If you're not interested in watching Cairn or Durnehviir Fight and you just want to get right to the bosses, totally cool. I'm trying to do a bit better about adding markers in the videos and adding timestamps. So if you are not interested in watching me slay thousands, no, I'm just kidding, not thousands, hundreds of undead and tens of slighted in the Cairn, that's fine. Go ahead and skip ahead. Anyways, between episodes, there's been a little bit of content gap. I mean, I've chosen to highlight the most important, the riskiest, the closest maybe to dying kind of content and fights, and just skipping over all the rest. But a notable, as you can see here, a notable piece of equipment that I got in between is the ebony mail. Before I was using the Templar armor for all the magic resist, the little bit of magic resist and the elemental resist, but now I swapped to ebony mail so that I could get the magic resist and I could just focus, and it gives me a bunch of fire resist as well, so I just need to focus on frost and shock if I want to do resistances. And now I'm starting to do a little more potion crafting, not a lot, not a super heavy focus of the build, but just nice to have supplemental so I don't have to go vendor for potions every single fight. Starting off strong here, Cairn. Got our 2 or 3 slided that spawned just behind the portal. As you can see here, we are doing some major damage. And that's just with Sunburst, not even with our Sun Blast. So this is, as long as we can be conscientious about our health, and we can, in that we just microwave that guy down. He comes in close and then just kills himself on all of our cloaks. Just have to be conscientious of our health and our magicka. We're gonna find here that there isn't anything for me to funerate right, because it's soul embers and then the slided goo, strange remains, puddles or whatever. So we can't funerate right to those things. So the main source of magic is going to be from our enchanted Daikatana and from the Mistmen, the ones that shoot, the Mistmen, the ones that shoot frost. We have enough frost resist and magic resist that it doesn't really do much damage to us, but it does give us a lot of magic back. Interestingly enough, I think the slided aren't even that much of a risk in this. It's the ranged, which is a continuation of our theme throughout this whole build, is that the things that have been giving us the most trouble are groups of ranged enemies at a distance. We have better solutions, we have better healing, we have better range spells, so it's not as bad, but you can see there that they're really chunking us. And these ranged enemies also have a healing effect nerf, so that it nerfs your healing effects for a short duration, which is combos well for them with this build. Is a bit of a detriment, big detriment for this build. You can see that we're doing like 83, 79 damage per tick. Look at 78, 76. So that's all because of our triple ward, or not ward, triple cloak setup we got. We've got Meridia's cloak from having Dawnbreaker in our inventory. We've got our Sun Cloak that we cast ourselves, Sunfire Cloak. And then we have the Ebony Mail Cloak, which is another reason that I wanted to use Ebony Mail. It's just because it's kind of fun. The more cloaks, the better. So I'm just kind of hop-skipping around in Cairn here. Mainly showing fights against slighted. Like I was talking about before, that the ranged enemies, the ranged bonemen, kind of own us a little bit. But I mean, they die to one sunburst and a couple of hits with our sword, so very much glass cannon for those guys. So I'm going to show slided fights. I'll show insight usage and level ups, but that's pretty much what we're going to focus on here in the Soul Cairn, and the Durnehviir Fight, of course. Just do so much residual damage. I feel like most of our damage is slided, since we're not just like we're just standing near them, kind of baiting attacks in and out. Most of the damage is coming from our close. A notable pickup at the beginning of this was I picked up Hemorrhaging Ward, and I picked up Illuminating Light. Illuminating Light makes it so that it highlights Daedra and Undead, or just Daedra, I forget. But it's very useful for the Soul Cairn to identify where slided are. Hemorrhaging Ward, of course, is really nice. It's a fire and forget ward that you cast that costs health. So what we can do is we can just cast Heal Self 4, which gives us a really strong healing over time, and then cast Hemorrhaging Ward, and then essentially it'll drop my health a little bit, but it'll come right back up immediately. And then at this point, a dual casted Hemorrhaging Ward lasts over a minute for us. So we're not really utilizing it too much here in the Soul Cairn, but we do utilize it a lot when we're doing the Forgotten Vale and all the Falmer there. The downside to that is that there's a staggering effect that plays out when the ward breaks. So if you're fighting a lot of enemies with concentration spells, or just like really powerful spells in general, it can be a bit of an issue because you cast it and then they break it, and then you could be doing anything. You could be running away and then they break your Hemorrhaging Ward, and then now you're staggered and you have to try and cancel the stagger with either with swapping spells, or I'm not sure if unequipping or re-equipping a weapon works, but I know that swapping a spell like in your offhand quickly will break the stagger animation. So yeah, now we're doing, this is kind of like how I've started to do the Soul Cairn now, is just don't even bother talking to Valerica, just go straight for the keepers, and then you just kill all the keepers first, and then go talk to Valerica. I just find it makes for a smoother Soul Cairn experience. Don't have to go fight some enemies, go to Valerica, dialogue, and then go back and fight more enemies. You can just do pretty much all the Soul Cairn area, general area, all the enemies there, clear them all out, kill all the keepers, and then go do the dialogue and then the Durnehviir Fight. Just makes for a much smoother experience, in my opinion. Less backtracking as well. We know what our objectives are here, so we might as well just pre-accomplish them. So whenever you see my magic bar just randomly go back to full, it's because the Mistmen, we're taking some sort of hits or the spells from the Mistmen, and they're just regenerating our magic for us. Really nice. This would actually be very, very difficult for this build if there was no Mistman. We would have to rely probably solely on sunlight weapons. I think we would have to be using our greatsword only. Here we get disarmed. I don't want to bother with trying to pick it up. We have an alternative, so might as well just use that. But if we didn't have the Mistmen to regenerate our magicka, we would either need to fully utilize the greatsword so that we could have a source of healing that doesn't require magic if we run out, or rely on surpassing magic potions and do what we're doing now, and then just whenever we get too low, pop up magic. But luckily for us, don't have to really worry about that because there are the scattered Mistmen all over the place, just waiting to refill our magic for us. they're pretty much like magical fonts, honestly, because they don't really do that much damage. Yeah, the sun spells are just so good, especially with Meridia and the mysticism perk. It just does, they do so much damage to Slided and Undead. Really, everything in the Soul Cairn, it just destroys them. You can see now that we've got some level ups in our two-handed. And we have a really, really powerful two-handed sword with the Daedric Daikatana. It is worth it now to use it a lot. Use a combo of the physical sword with like heal self 4 for our healing instead of using the Sunlight Greatsword for damage and healing. So you see how tanky we are? We were just tanking those hits. I mean, they weren't power attacks, but they were just regular swings. But we took like 2 or 3, and it only did, I don't know, maybe 15% of our health. We're just super tanky. 987 armor. Plus we have the Ebony trait from our Ebony Mail that makes it so that the higher damage our weapons are, the more magic resist, or not magic resist, armor resist we get. Armor we get. Damage resist. That's the word. So yeah, just for all the, if you were curious about the non-slided fights, this is pretty much what happens. I mean, we just destroy everything. Which is why most of them are cut out. Or we just do that. How much damage? Almost just one cast. One handed Sun Blast did 650 damage to those Wraithmen. And then all we have to do is stand next to them for like a couple of seconds, and then that'll finish them off. Alright, we have our last Keeper. The Keepers are kind of a joke, honestly. I don't think I've ever had a build that could get past like everything else in the Soul Cairn and couldn't do the Keepers. I mean, I don't know. Their damage output just is nothing. I think they have a lot more. They have some regen now, which makes them a bit tougher. DPS check, kind of. But yeah, overall, super easy. I think I was operating under the assumption that I had no source of heal self 2 besides my Durnehviir ring, so I was kind of prioritizing that. Or maybe I was, I don't know. But I forgot at some point when I was playing this, I was heavily prioritizing like Durnehviir's ring because of the heal self 2 that's on it. But once you have Juggernaut Effigy, I don't think you need heal self 2. I think Juggernaut Effigy takes care of all the effects that heal self 2 does. Boosting up our alchemy next, mainly to get the alchemical intellect perk.
Is it really you? I can't believe it.
And I guess the extra
Where's your father?
potent poisons that we can get are nice as well, but really we're just trying to focus for that alchemical intellect. Alright, little Durnehviir time. Not really different from any other dragons, but this is kind of the first dragon I'm fighting that really utilizes the Absorb Vitality shout. And it kind of owns me a little bit. Especially since I don't have the Dragon Shout perks in the speech tree. It's like 20 seconds. It lasts 20 seconds. It's draining my magic constantly, which does not regenerate. It's draining my health. So whenever I get hit by it, I have to very quickly, before I run out of magicka, cast Heal Self 4, and then that kind of offsets the, you kind of see here, kind of offsets the health drain effects. But it lasts for a surprisingly long amount of time. But other than that, it's just a battle of attrition, essentially. No real risk. Just kind of takes some time. I think the Ghostly Knight are really cool. I wish we had a player version of that spell. Do a nice bit of damage here. We're just constantly fighting and there I do my little paladin helmet cheese because I have heal or magicka 2 on the helmet, so I can quickly gain some magic back when I unequip and re-equip it. Enough for me to be able to cast like my ward. I can absorb some more magicka. Now I think he's grounded. We just finish him off. Give him that sunbeam, baby. Good job, gang. We're close to that 100 alchemy. Alright, skipping ahead, Forgotten Vale. Really don't need to see anything in here. We've seen Falmer content, and now Falmer content is even easier now that I have Sunblast, especially in the Forgotten Vale. You'll see, I'll show the gank fight in the Forgotten Vale, which essentially, if you can do that fight, and you can see how easily I do that fight, you'll get an idea of how easy the whole Forgotten Vale was. So now we're utilizing our Hemorrhaging Ward. You can see it going now. So yeah, do a little Heal Self 4, Hemorrhaging Ward, and then I just started blasting. A little laggy. I mean, it's a lot for the game to load and render. Lots of enemies, lots of pathing AI and everything, combat AI to process. But we help it out by pretty much eliminating most of them in a couple of spell casts, as we do. See, it's as easy as that. Pretty much every Falmer dies to a single dual casted Sunblast in a huge radius. So that's essentially what we were doing. And I mean, we can one-shot a lot of Falmer with our sprinting power attack as well. So there's really, and yeah, especially with Hemorrhaging Ward now, with all that damage reduction going constantly pretty much, because it lasts, I think it's at 2 minutes right now. 2 minutes left on it. So yeah, I mean, very, very safe. Just show these guys over here on the bridge. Boom. Yeah, like one Sunblast kills most of them, and any that survive quickly die to my cloaks. So here we got the Durnehviir Fight, and I think this has been changed because his necklace used to make him completely immune to all sun damage, sun spell damage. But I think that was changed. It was removed from the necklace because most of our damage is sun damage, and you can see how we're cooking him down right now. I was a little worried for this fight, to be honest, because I thought that I was going to have to rely solely on my physical damage from the katana. But no, we just cook him down. And we cook him down so low that Serana is able to finish him off. So yeah, his necklace, I don't think the Vengeance doesn't have the immune to stun damage effect like it used to. Which is nice for this build. I remember doing sunlight builds and thinking that I was going to destroy Werther. And then I'm just like not doing any damage to him because all my damage is from sunlight weapons. And he's just immune to it completely. Even with Arcane Disjunction. I was like, okay. Alright. A little Castle Volkihar. I was playing with the idea of completely skipping over this, cutting it out. But just so you guys can see the utter destruction that we cause against vampires at this point. This build has been so fun. The hardest part about this build is level 1, honestly. Where you have to, where you rush Bleak Falls. If you get, I mean, I'm not going to say this build was super easy because this is probably like my 15th or 16th attempt of it. But once you get past like level 3, 4, let's see, you want to have, once you start getting, once you're able to wear heavy armor, then you're really able to take off. So yeah, just go past all the Dawn Guards so that we don't accidentally hit them with our spell, and then just destroy everybody. That's how it goes. I am going to skip the Alduin boss fight. If you've already looked at the timestamps, you can already tell. I'm skipping right to Miraak because we've done dragons. They're not that hard. It's just battles of attrition. They're kind of boring. So I'm going to stick right with the action. They're action bosses. Although Alduin is a much harder fight now, but I don't think it would be that much of a challenge. And you know, it's how I always get. The most fun part of these builds is the early game, and the late game, once you get kitted out and geared up, it's just kind of a slog to go through the quests. The boss fights are fun, but it's a slog to go through the quests. Alright, here we go. So there you can see immediately our Hemorrhaging Ward broke because of his drain spell. But we're doing a good amount of damage to him, actually. It doesn't look like a lot, but he has a large health pool. Doing 300 damage per power attack isn't bad. Especially since we're doing so much residual damage as well with our cloaks and with the sun effect from our silver-lined Meridia. And yeah, 600 damage. Oh my god, it's just so much damage. The fact that it ignores magic resist is really nice. It reminds me of the blood spells. When the blood spells used to resist or bypass magic resist, they were like super broken as well. That of course got changed. Hopefully this doesn't get changed because I mean really the sun spells don't really do a lot of damage unless you're like completely focusing on them, like with this build, Meridia and the mysticism perk and everything. They require a lot to be super good. I think a lot of investment. So I don't think it's too much. I don't think they're like overpowered or anything. So just trying to play it safe. Do some good damage. Don't overextend. When I get to like 60% health, I try and back away and cast Heal Self 4. A lot of times I like to do the fight without using Oriel's bow, but I don't know. Just use the mechanics that are here to do the fight. It's fine. So we have our Sunfire Cloak and we have Galder. I think we're wearing our Galder amulet. But we have, beside that, we have our Paladin helmet, which has Magicka too. So between those two, it reduces the effectiveness of the Vampire Drain spells, which are pretty important for this fight because that, even with max match resist, that spell, his like first Drain spell that he uses, that's like kind of red and purpley. That one, yep. Does so much damage if you don't have proper absorb resistance. You have to have at least Magicka 2. Here the fight kind of bugs out a little bit. Just your class. Both of my well, not spoilers. But yeah, a little buggy. Just, you know, the classic Skyrim jank. But we've faced it so much, we kind of have a good idea of how to debug it. We've faced so much Skyrim jank in our days. So I just wait for him to go positive, and then try and kill him again. Yeah, and then it triggers. Hey, that's Harkon down. Riskless. I'm not going to show much of the Dragonborn stuff. We've already seen me doing like all the black books essentially. I think there are like 2 or 3 black books left that I could do. I'm not going to do them all, but we know that I'm comfortable fighting the Apocrypha enemies. Obviously, the cultists are not that much of a challenge, so we're just going to skip right to the Miraak Fight. I've grown a couple of levels. I think I'm level 43 now. Just some additional perks in Alchemy and two-handed. I am utilizing the same gear, except for I'm using Otar now. I got some extra potions, some Daedra Heart potions that I made. Resist Frost and Shock potions. All my surpassings. Have to have my food, of course. Can't forget the food. Buff rotation is the same. Yeah, water walking, Meridia. All my boons. Ebony mail, all my effigies. Imperial, woohoo! Sailor's repose. All the good stuff. Perks, 100 alchemy, 100 restoration, 100 smithing, 100 heavy armor, 100 two-handed. My remaining graders. That's why I think it's good to do the progressive skill increase, because you definitely get enough. Alright, little dragon aspect. Little predator's might. And then the same spell buff rotation. Constitution, which really I don't need. Or powerful healing aura. I go ahead and learn and become ethereal because you never know. Sometimes you need an oh shit button, but I don't think I end up using it. Sunfire Cloak. I got my spells: Fortify Health and Stamina, Frost and Shock Resist. And I think I'm using a Fortify Restoration as well. I try out, pop my potions. I've died because I forgot. Yeah, I do try out using Hemorrhaging Lord in this fight. But we quickly realize that it's just not going to be worth it, because he does so much damage and breaks our spell. And like his first one. So then we opt for Arcane Ward 5. Miraak can be quite tricky if you're a melee build, so we kind of opt to stay mid-range, just far enough that our Sun Blast effect hits him, but not like right in his vicinity. But we can see that, yeah, we do a lot of damage. Like 700 damage. playing it safe. I think I popped a Daedra potion, Daedra Heart Surpassing. I can heal with Arcane Ward. And get some magic back with my Azrael Gauntlets. I'm just playing around with him a little bit here. Kind of limit testing. See how much we can absorb. Oh, it seems like we absorb a lot more when we get hit raw spell, non-warded block. See, you can see here that even our Sunburst does a lot of damage. Especially when we're playing in mid-range and long range, we can definitely avoid his, I think it's his highest damaging spell, his Fire Nova that he does. I mean his shock, his lightning spell does a good amount of damage too, but so yeah, just kind of playing in mid-range. If we wanted to be super safe, we could just hide behind cover near him and do this. I'm trying to focus on damage and utilize my surpassing potions. So if I'm in the middle of casting, I don't want to break it to run away and do heal stuff 4, so just go ahead and utilize my surpassing. And that's it. That's Miraak. Pretty quick, pretty easy. Of course, he bugs out, but eventually we fix it, I guess. Doing some enable, disable, move to me, and then eventually it triggers. But it's still super buggy. It doesn't matter. As long as the voice lines are playing, we're good.
No matter.
And then he creeps. This is this is the Skyrim jank that we play for. We live for the Skyrim jank.
May he be rewarded for his service as I am.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, super strong build, huh? I mean, Restoration is just really powerful, especially when you're comboing with heavy armor. I mean, you just so much damage resistance, and then you have like limitless health essentially. As long as you have a large pool, and you can reliably cast heal self 4, you're golden. All right, Ossoberg time. Same buffs. I am using a Ring of Peerless Restoration now, because I really want the cost reduction for my penetrating light, my Sunbeam. Powerful healing aura. I forgot my shouts. It's okay. Pop my potions. It's a bit cheesy, what we do for the Ossoberg fight, but I want to win, man. And when you want to win, you got to utilize the tools that are at your disposal. Which sometimes means utilizing the terrain. But yeah, just kind of trying to trim off some of the ads here. Don't even know where he is. No. Oh, there he is. What's nice is that his beam spell can kind of heal us as well. So that Dragon Priest that's using lightning, whatever bolt, can also regenerate our health, our magic. Here I'm just waiting to use a surpassing. I was hoping that the Daedra Heart surpassing for Magicka would also work, but it doesn't. The Atronach, I was hoping that it would like surpass the Atronach detriment for regeneration, and since it's not a like just restore all your magicka, it's like a increase your magic regen by 10,000 or whatever. I was hoping that was going to be enough, but look at this. He just pops back up to full health. I had him, and then it took too long for me to get there, so I don't gotta do it all over again. But that's okay. Feel bad for Ossoberg a little bit here. He's really at the... It's like, oh my god. I'll keep my surpassing so I don't run out in the middle of casting. Honestly, kind of a clumsy fight, all things considered. The power of the sun in my hands, in my grasp. There I use a surpassing, but it only takes me to like half. I'm not sure what happened there, to be honest. My toxicity is crazy, but I have so much regen that doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't know. The surpassing isn't actually healing me all the way to full. But I have so many that it doesn't even really matter. Out of my way. And we get him. Nice. Love a build that can take out Ossoberg, even if it's cheesy. So here we have to pop our magic resist potion. Reapply my buffs. Make sure that you need a lot of more than 75 magic resist. I think you need like 100 something magic resist to resist Elmanu's arcane beam or whatever. And here, man, I forget to take my Ossoberg reserve, which, with how well we do in this fight, I think makes it even more impressive with how well we do in this fight. But yeah, I think well, I guess you'll see, but we get pretty far in this fight, but we do end up dying, and it's because I think we just get one shot by Ossoberg, to be honest, like a power attack or something. Or maybe not one shot, but I was like a little low and healing, and he just comes in, does whatever body. Shade of Ossoberg. I don't know what I was saying. The Shade of Ossoberg comes in and smites me. For the most part, we can handle these guys pretty well. And I don't know if the Shade of Ossoberg appears from the very beginning of the fight, or if it's just like at the end. I don't know what happens, but all of a sudden he's there, and then inexplicably, I just get one shot. But that's fine. I think I would have definitely survived though if I had the Ossoberg's reserve. Faux show. But yeah, having the extra 1k definitely, or however much health it is in defensive punch, it really helps with those kinds of things. But all in all, this build was super fun. I had a blast playing this build. I've always liked the kind of archetype of the like the heavy armor paladin that's also secretly worshipping a Daedra. That's not so secretly, but whatever. The Daedric worshipping paladin. It's pretty cool and quite effective, as you can see. Just restoration is such a powerful school of magicka. You could probably do a build that's only restoration. Like I know we did a alteration only, but you could probably do a restoration only. It's so strong. Although I don't know, because I definitely rely a lot in this build on the heavy armor for tankiness. But you can see that we've gotten him down pretty low a couple of times. I know he has some surpassings and he heals himself, but I think we have enough that we could burst him. If we just had an Ossoberg though, it's a shame. Because we take care of him similarly to how we did Miraak, just kind of stay at distance. If we need to go in with our greatsword, we can do that as well. But we're actually doing more damage than he's able to heal. And we're wearing him down a little bit at a time. It's one of the closest fights that I've had with him. But yeah, I'm at half health. And I do some passing. So it must be, and then yeah, I just die. And you can kind of see here that Ossoberg Shade put it into Meridia Marauder's misery at Elmanu's realm. Overall, super fun build. Highly recommend. The rush for the silver daikatana just helps so much in the early game. You just have to kind of dodge some tricky bandit spawns. If you get too many high level bandits, it's really hard. But if you can play pretty smart, especially if you start as an Imperial, you get enough stamina early to kind of do those early combats without too much issue, then right there, I mean, the build is super strong. And then you just kind of have to play safe until that you can get your heavy armor. And once you get your heavy armor, then you can cook super hard. Kill all humanoid bandits, become really easy. And then you just it's just a kind of a game to try and get cost reduction. We opted for killing the Vigilance in Riften at the Stendarr's Beacon to get the Vigilant armor, which was super helpful. And then it just kind of snowballed from there. But yeah, super fun build. We killed all the bosses, killed one of the mean bosses, died to Elmanu, so definitely a big success. And it's been a while since we've actually taken a build all the way to the end, so I'm pretty pleased with that. But anyways, I appreciate everyone watching. I'm already working on my next series. There may be a gap in time, maybe a couple of weeks until I start posting the next series. It all depends on how successful I am with the build that I'm trying out. But yeah, I really appreciate everyone watching. I hope everyone has a great time playing some F-Tweaks. All right, peace.